Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, basically I do whatever I want in this channel because life is too short. I'm thinking of having like a set intro because intros are kind of catchy, so I'm gonna work on that. Now, I know you just saw a very general disclaimer because, to be honest, all of the content in this video makes me really nervous that it'll get copyright claimed. I'm sure it will. I just really don't want this video to be taken down. So I'm working really hard to cover all the bases because I worked really hard on this video. And before we properly begin, I would like to give a couple of brief disclaimers. The information used in this video is accurate as I am recording it, so it may or may not have changed. And if it has changed, then I'm only human, I'm sorry. I only tried to give you as many facts as possible, but you know, the world is ever changing. I'd like to apologize in advance for the quality of some of the video clips in this video that you will see. Some of those video clips are really old, they look really grainy, but there's really nothing that I can do about it. I'm just kind of recycling. And I really wanted to use them, so they're in the video. The premise of this video is going to be very choreography based. We've tried to mirror them as much as possible, but there's always room for human error. The groups that I have chosen for this video would kind of tie into the story of the video. That does not mean that they're my only favorites. The groups and songs that I've chosen will not be presented in chronological order. Again, it'll tie into my story and how I started to hear of them. I think that covers all the bases. Now let's begin. And what better place to begin than the beginning? Allow me to paint you a picture. Little middle school me was minding my own business, sitting down in my lunch hour. My best friend at the time had her iPod Touch and she came over to me and she showed me a video. She's like, check these guys out. And that day was my introduction to K-pop. But what is K-pop? Let me explain. Korean popular music, otherwise known as K-pop, is an umbrella term since K-pop includes many different musical genres. Even though its roots have been around since the 1950s, the type of K-pop that we listen to today was formed around the 1990s, receiving influence from a lot of Western music and pop groups. In April of 1992, Seo Taiji and The Boys entered the scene, merging elements of rap and other contemporary sounds into Korean music. K-pop has gone through many changes over the years as K-pop groups and even solo artists try to innovate the scene. With every change or evolution that K-pop goes through, it kind of gets separated and classified into different generations. For example, the first generation was marked by the birth of K-pop idol groups themselves, and they began to push the boundaries a little bit by becoming a little more experimental. In the second generation, K-pop became very commercialized, therefore it began to be one of the most profitable industries in Korea. The second generation also started to provide a mold of what an idol should be, while also introducing more multifaceted idols since fans began to expect more singing and dancing from these groups. The third generation took the name of K-pop and really pushed to spread it around the world. The new K-pop groups formed in this generation would use social media in order to hit their target audiences in an international scale. And they incorporated storytelling concepts to create another level to their image and music. Now, with the current generation of K-pop, the fourth generation, the genre and culture as a whole has transcended. In this new era of K-pop, the boundaries have been removed and it's no longer based only in Korea itself. So as you can see, compared to its beginnings way back in the 1950s, K-pop has only kept growing, gaining fans all over the world, therefore becoming a worldwide phenomenon. Unique characteristics of K-pop include large groups, hybrid sounds, unique styling, extensive systematic training, and elaborate choreography specifically made to complement individual songs. And that leads me to the premise of this video. So many fans of K-pop learn these choreographies in order to feel closer to their favorite groups and also as a form of support. So what did I do? For the last 7 days, I, with the very much needed help of my sister, decided to tackle 7 K-pop dances. I took it as a way to challenge myself. Now, I didn't just want to choose random songs from random groups, so I decided to add the element of this kind of being my journey with K-pop. Starting from when I was first introduced to it to, well, today. Now, me and my sister will not be doing the choreography to the whole dance. We'll be doing the chorus and possibly the pre-chorus if we feel like it. This is sort of like a bucket list thing for me. Like, I've known all these songs for such a long time, so I kind of use the excuse of this could be a good YouTube idea to actually learn them. Also, I haven't danced in a really long time, and I'm hoping that this will kind of help my confidence in like the way my body moves, because, you know, your girl's a little rusty. Now before we officially begin, I'd like to state this. My sister and I are not professional dancers. We took dance classes for a long time when we were in high school, but we have not danced like this in years. So yes, our form may be sloppy and our arms floppy, but we wanted to challenge ourselves and have fun. So take it easy on us. Thanks in advance. So going back to the story of middle school me, the group that my friend was showing me was BLAQ, and the first song that she showed me was Cry by BLAQ. However, that is kind of more like a mellow song, so I decided to go for the second song that I heard, which is Stay by BLAQ. BLAQ debuted October of 2009 under J-Tune Camp. They belong to the second generation of K-pop. Their song Stay released in January of 2011, and the official YouTube videos has 6.9 million views. Now, two things became very clear to me after this first day. The first one was that getting my sister's help was a real crucial step, because I was already messing up one of the dance moves at the beginning and it was looking very funky. So it took her actually looking at it and explaining it to me to actually make it look good. And the second thing that I actually noticed was that this was gonna be way harder than I thought. Like, I knew this was gonna be hard. I knew it was gonna be tricky to learn these dances in 7 days. But boy, did I mess up a lot. And this day one was just the beginning. But after a couple of tweaks and run-throughs, we came up with this.
Oh, baby, stay with me. 내 곁에만 있어. 네가 내 전부였단 말야. Stay. Oh, baby, stay together. 나만 네 말을 이렇게 보고 있는 거지. Stay in my heart.
For day 2, I went with SHINee's Lucifer. SHINee debuted on May of 2008 under S.M.Entertainment, belonging to the second generation of K-pop. Lucifer released in July of 2010, and their official YouTube video has 119 million views. Now with this dance, I know that right at the beginning there's a very complicated dance sequence, and I was originally not gonna do it. However, I showed my sister and I'm like, okay, we're only gonna do the chorus because this initial sequence looks very cool. It's just very complicated for me. And she was like, nah, we can do it. So we actually decided to hash it out, and let's just say it took a very long time for us to actually get it. In fact, we were so stuck trying to get this initial sequence that we resorted to doing whatever this is before every run through as sort of like a lucky charm. And surprisingly, it kind of worked. So after what felt like forever, and in reality it was only like 2 hours, we were actually able to come up with this, which I think was pretty decent.
사랑이었다면 정말 사랑했던 거라면 내게 이러지도 마라. Always Paris from the Lucifer. The Lucifer. 나를 묵묵하둔다면 사랑도 묶인 채 미래도 묶인 채 커질 수 없는데 자유롭게 비워놓고 바라봐. 오직 너만 채울게. 너만 가득 채울게. 거부할 수
So day 3 rolled around with Super Junior's Mr. Simple. Super Junior debuted in November of 2005 under S.M.Entertainment, belonging to the second generation of K-pop. Mr. Simple released in August of 2011, and their official YouTube video has 197 million views. Now, after Lucifer, I knew that we needed some sort of break, and this was actually one of the earlier songs that I listened to. And I knew the choreography was gonna be simple and fun, so I decided to add it as a nice fun time. Now, it still gave me a little bit of trouble, which you will find is a recurrence throughout this video. It took me a little bit to actually get it. I guess my brain just isn't what it used to be. But anyway, after a couple of rehearsals, this is the closest that we got to Mr. Simple. For day 4, I chose EXO's Call Me Baby. EXO debuted in April of 2012 under SM-Entertainment, and they belong to the third generation of K-pop. Call Me Baby released on March of 2015, and their official YouTube video has 290 million views. Now, this was one of the ones that I was actually really excited for. However, this is the day that kind of hit me the hardest. Now, it started like every other day. We would look at the video, kind of break down the dance. We were lucky to find a tutorial, and everything was going great. I mean, I was still kind of messing up at times, but that was to be expected. I think the camera makes me nervous, so it makes me overthink. But the point is that I was messing up a lot. And at one point, I got just really frustrated because it got to a point where my sister was doing it fine. She learned the choreography and she was doing it great. Do not get me wrong, I love my sister and I am extremely grateful for her to actually join me in this video and help me get these dances down. But on this day in particular, I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't doing it good enough, like I wasn't doing it as good as her. And in every single try that we do, I'd mess up and she would have it down basically. So I'd start kind of kicking myself in the back for it. So at the end of day 4, this is the best that we got, and to be honest, I didn't really care that much. I just wanted to record it, get it over and done with, and leave. For day 5, I chose GOT7's Just Right. GOT7 debuted on January of 2014 under JYP Entertainment, belonging to the third generation of K-pop. Just Right released in July of 2015, and the official music video has 375 million views. Now, I came into day 5 deflated and frustrated. But who would have known that past me would actually be doing present me a favor in this moment? It just so happens that Just Right is kind of like my pick-me-up song. The message just pushes you to embrace who you are, flaws and all, And that actually really helped me. And also my sister reminded me that this video was not made for me to get frustrated. I made this video so I could challenge myself and have fun with this. She reminded me that we're not K-pop idols, we're not professional dancers, we're just here to have fun and it doesn't have to be perfect and I shouldn't be kicking myself so much. So with that in mind, I kind of really let go of needing for this to be perfect and this is what came out.
아무리 널 뜯어봐도 보고 또 보고 또 봐도 네가 말하는 안 예쁜 부분이 어딘지 그게 어딘지 찾을 수가 없어 난 지금처럼 맘맘맘맘맘 웃어주면 난난난난난 바랄 게 없으니 넌 아무것도 바꾸지 맘맘맘맘맘 아무 걱정 맘맘맘맘맘 너의 모든 게 다다다다 다 좋으니까 너는 아무것도 바꾸지 맘맘맘맘맘 이대로 지금 이대로
For day 6, I chose Big Bang's Bang Bang Bang. Big Bang debuted in August of 2006 under OGAMentertainment, and they belong to the second generation of K-pop. Bang 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 released in June of 2015, and their official music video has 533 million views. This dance is one of the more simpler ones that we did during the week. It's really more about the flow that you give it, and we tried our best to give it our personal flow. And if you see that we changed the fingers a little bit, it's because we didn't necessarily want to do the guns because of, recent gun violence things. We tried to not do the finger guns, so we tried to do pointing instead. Sometimes I did the finger guns because that's how I've learned it for all these years, so I'm sorry about that. I kind of laugh at myself looking back at it now because I think I'm so hard, but you know what? Whatever. It was fun and it was nice to do. It was one of the simpler ones and we could just let go and have fun with this. So without further ado, this is Bang Bang Bang.
Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. 자 꼼짝 마라. 자 꼼짝 마. 자 꼼짝 마라. 자 꼼짝 마. 오늘 밤 끝장 보자. 자 끝장 봐. 오늘 밤 끝장 보자. bang bang bang. 널 데려가 지금 이 순간에.
Now last but not least, we finally made it to the end. I chose BTS's Dynamite. BTS debuted in June of 2013 under Big Hit Entertainment, belonging to the third generation of K-pop. Dynamite released in August of 2020 and it almost has 1.1 billion views in the official YouTube video. Now, I knew that I couldn't do this video without adding BTS in there, and to be very honest, I was going to choose Idol because Idol was one of the first BTS songs that I heard. But when I looked at the choreography, I was like, my skills aren't there yet. So I decided to go with Dynamite because who doesn't know Dynamite by BTS? And it seemed like really fun, so I chose that one. So for Dynamite, it was the same routine. We got there, we started to rehearse, and we did 2 very good runs. And when I go to check in the camera, it turns out I hadn't hit the record button. But you best believe that as soon as I pressed record, I started to overthink and mess up the dance again. But it really didn't bother me. This was our last dance, and I, again, just wanted to have fun with my sister. So we just let go. We were gonna have fun even if oopsies happened, because oopsies are bound to happen. The important thing is to not to let them get you down. So this was the culmination of our week.
Bueno, bienvenido.
Sí, buena, un BTS mío, por favor.
BTS mío.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Secured the bag. Now let's go home and eat it. Alright, so that concludes it. It's been 7 days and 7 K-pop dances. I just got home and I'm about to eat the BTS meal. But before I did that, I kind of just wanted to do my concluding thoughts. So what have I learned this week? Many times throughout the week, I found myself comparing my dancing to my sisters, and that would just never really put me in a positive headspace. I'd see the way that she danced and I'd try to imitate it, and then I'd feel silly for trying to imitate how she dances instead of embracing the way that I dance. So I've learned to not compare myself to her. Having her there really helped, like it really helped, and we all have our different kinds of strengths. I really needed her there because she would constantly remind me, you know, you're not a K-pop idol, you're not a professional dancer, don't beat yourself up too hard over this. You're doing this for fun. And she was right. So she was that voice that I really needed in order to not get into my head so much. So was it frustrating at times? Yes it was. But I just had to remember that the end goal was not for it to be perfect, but to let go and have fun with it. I was going to go into this and do my best, and what I gave was my best, and that's okay. I think we take ourselves a little too seriously sometimes, and we're kind of scared of being crappy at something that we haven't done before or we haven't done in a long time. But that's just the path to growth, isn't it? You look a little silly practicing at first, but if you don't practice, you don't get better. So hopefully I'll keep practicing, I'll keep doing these videos. I think it's really fun. Let me know if you guys had fun watching this video, if you have any recommendations on songs that you'd like me to do. I know this is a guy's version. I am going to do a girl's version of this as well. So again, if you have any songs that you'd like to recommend, just leave them down below in the comments. I would like to thank my sister personally for being a complete champ throughout all of this. Little one, this video would not even be here if it wasn't for you and your help, so thank you very much. I appreciate you. And a huge shout out to the channels that actually had tutorials for these dances. And for the last time, I would like to express that all the right and credit belongs to the rightful owners of all of these songs, of the videos. You know, they don't belong to me, they belong to them. And with that, I think I'm gonna leave it there this week. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.